Okay, it's the final day of the Taipei bike show and everyone is packing up all their wares, so you can hear the sound of sellotape behind me, so I apologize for that. Today's video a bit different. I just sat down with the man, Shane Miller, and we just compared our bike show experiences. Obviously he's more into the tech stuff, I'm more into the carbony stuff, so we just sat down and exchanged notes. So let's roll into it. What's up everyone, China Cycling and GP Llama here for day 4 of the Taipei bike show footage presented by pandapudding.cc, ka-ching. Today a little bit different. My legs are done, I don't want to walk around the shop floor, so I thought I'd just grab another visit to the show because Shane's been also making videos here, check them out if you haven't, because on day 1, for example, we both made 20-minute videos and there was only like 30 seconds of similar content in them. So the stuff he's been seeing and the stuff I've been seeing is totally different. Obviously Shane's more towards the tech side of things as well, so if you're more into the tech you can go check out his videos, but I thought today we'd just both talk about what we saw at the show, how the show was and all that juicy stuff. So yeah, you can give me your first impressions first.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me in your beautiful office here, Joe.
I am my studio setup.
We found one chair. Unfortunately, the chair is our camera stand.
I'll throw in some BTS of our setup right now.
It's a beautiful place.
Sunny Taipei behind us as well.
It is nice, it is nice. It has been nice weather for the first 2 days and then it got cold. That's okay, that's all right. We're all indoors. Good setup here, good layout. Not too hard to get around, not like Eurobike.
Okay, not been.
It's in all different places. This is quite easy. 2 big floors over this side and another big floor over the other side, mixed in with a fitness show of some type.
Yeah, I've not even been to that. Have you been to that yet?
Yeah, I accidentally walked in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Turned around and walked out.
Didn't look very bikey.
Yeah.
It was very, anyhow, that's all here. But no, good to be here. Good show. I think good turnout from exhibitors. Good spread of technology, but nothing leaping too far forward.
Okay. I'm going to ask you the most annoying question.
Yeah.
So the past few days, every time I go to a booth and it's someone I know would talk, or like I pass someone, another journalist, they always ask me, what's the best thing you've seen so far? Like,
that's an easy question.
Go watch the video. I'm spending hours a day making videos, and just go watch the video. Stop asking. So I'm going to ask you, what's the best thing you've seen so far?
First of all, I'll let people know why we asked that question, why everyone asked that question, because you miss so many things, and it's easy content to grab. If someone says, hey, I saw this, you're like, okay, add that to my list too, and then off you go and see it. So there's a trick to why we're asking that question. The most interesting thing I've seen so far, does it have to work or not work?
Not work.
Okay, excellent, easy. The most interesting thing that doesn't work is those cranks.
Okay,
of course.
Yeah, we can talk about the cranks.
If you've seen my video, look, I'm not an engineer, I'm a cyclist. I have a lot of experience though in riding bikes and things and measuring things. I'm very confident that doesn't work, and in the way they're saying. That's probably an easy way to say it. There's a lot of drag in the system. As I told you to go check it out, when you pedal you've got companies here like Ceramic Speed, you've got all the brands that do their low friction, all about optimization, and this company comes in and adds a massive amount of friction to improve something else that, anyhow, that's probably the most interesting thing here. It has been given an award by the show as well, so I think the award organisers also thought it was interesting. They probably haven't tested it.
On the leaflet, they also got some award from Paris, something.
Someone's looking into that for me. Somebody on the Escape Collective Discord said, "Can you give me the certificate of whatever they want out of Paris? Can I look into it?" And their last report was, "I can't find anything at all."
The plot thickens.
Lodged.
Also on their paraphernalia, the email address is like
Gmail.
joe26952@gmail.com. But it also claims to have patents in like 8 countries. So you had the time to register patents, but you didn't have time to register a domain name.
The only one step down from that would have been a Hotmail or a Yahoo account for email on that.
Yeah, maybe.
Cranksman69@hotmail.com or something. I think that's probably what that's very close to what we expected on that. Look, although there is some fascinating engineering behind it, and there's a lot of work gone into it, blood, sweat and tears, obviously. I mean, they've spent a lot of money, but at the end of the day, it just needs to be proven to work. That's it. And it could quite simply be proven to work by two smart trainers, which they have here, 2 bikes, one with, one without, set the trainers to erg mode, power pedals on both, maybe provide the user 200 watts erg, pedal on both, and just see the numbers. It's very easy to prove it doesn't work in that respect, so that's probably why they're not doing that. I was shown how to test it and how to see it works, and I couldn't see any difference at all. But look, it's a topic of discussion, if nothing else.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's just essentially making your cranks longer. which if the longer cranks do give you more torque.
That's against the current trend.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but maybe there's something in there, in terms of not what they think is in there, but like having shorter cranks for fitting purposes or aero purposes, but then having the torque of a longer crank. But on a bicycle, it's useless because you've got gears on the back and you want more or less torque, you just change gears.
Does it do something? Yes. Does it do what they claim? Highly unlikely. But anyway, that's probably the most interesting thing here anyway. As for the most leap forwardy thing, more of a category style here on two fronts. Lots of radars.
Okay.
More than I thought.
I know you like your radars.
I like testing radars. It's an obsession of mine for sure. More than I thought. I expected to see the Brightons, the Magic Shines. Giant don't even have theirs on show here. That shows the confidence they have in that product.
Oops.
Not even here. At a tech show of all places too.
In their backyard. Yeah.
I mean, they could just go out the back. It's where their storage is. They make anyhow. That's not here. But there's a few others. There was TransX had one, and a few other OEMs as well. Difficult to know if they work or not because we're at a trade show.
I mean, this seems to be the pattern, right? Like a brand comes out with something, and then 5 years later, other brands start coming out with it cheaper. Obviously, some of it is them trying to engineer it for cheaper, and some of it is them trying to get around patents or licensing it and stuff. So radar, I think, is one of those products that like Garmin. When did the original Verb radar come out?
2015 or 2015, I think it was, or August 2015 for the RTL 500, the little wide one that looks exactly like the camera we're using, the wide square thing. But that still to this day works extremely well. If not, actually, it does work better than most of the things I've seen lately. But having said that, you're spot on with what companies are doing. Also with pedals, power meter pedals. They're so easy to put on a bike. Putting a Spider power meter on, you've got to get the crank set, you've got to get the chain rings, the bottom bracket type, the spindle, everything to be compatible with your bike, the chain line right. Oh, it's all too hard.
Yeah.
Pedals, come in a box, 8mm spanner, and you're done.
And also lots of the radars that are out now that aren't that good. Some of them are cheaper, but some of them the price point is so close to the Garmin stuff.
You wouldn't.
You may as well just do it. And I think that's an example as well. Like we're both fans of Asiomas. Feel free to sponsor me, Asioma. I've bought 2 pairs. But it's one of those products that there are now other pedals coming out, but the price difference is usually not that much cheaper. So you're like, well, I'm just going to get the Asiomas because the Asiomas work. But we were talking just other industries. Let's talk about GoPros. So GoPros were the original, and GoPros were the best. But now, like the DJI cameras and Insta360 cameras, they've came out, and we were just looking, destroyed GoPro's share price. And the products, now the prices also are, this camera we're using now, the Insta360 Ace Pro 2, sponsored, hashtag, is the same price or more expensive than the GoPro, but people buy it because it's better.
We see a lot of technology. It has what you call an up ramp in features and usability, and so the heyday of power meters, SRM was way back here many years ago. Probably about 2018, we saw a lot of power meters hit the market. Not much has changed since then. A few form factor changes, a few different types have come along, but that's about it. But yeah, we see the same for power meters, smart trainers, head units. Their heyday was probably about, their peak developments were probably about 5 or 6 years ago. But in saying that, these big companies with products that work very well, they've almost stagnated, and these smaller companies are coming up to meet them. So we've seen that with GoPro. So the Action 5 from DJI, is it? Yeah, that does a pretty good job of things, and they're now meeting that level. So it's the hard part, like the Kicker. Who made a Kicker? Worked really well. And the Kicker Core also worked very well, but what next? Other companies are slowly creeping up, and that's what we're seeing here at the show. These companies creeping up, but we're also seeing a lot of companies not do it right. And that's where you see in a lot of my videos is the testing, like basic testing falls over. And that's like accuracy testing of both power meters and radars. And it's not hard to do. It's not, because you and I have just, we both buy a pair of Asiomas and use them. These companies need to do the same thing. Buy the Asiomas and put that side by side. Buy the radars, the Variant, put that side by side, get to at least that level, then go to market.
So there's this, we just said like 5-10 year period of it going from like the one brand has it to then every brand having it and maybe getting cheaper and maybe getting more options and stuff. what I want to talk about is what cool products are going to start hitting that phase. Like what came out a few years ago, and now we're just waiting for other brands to get it. I reckon one example is electronic shifting.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Okay, there we go.
You're on the same thoughts. Not even pre-planned that one either. We haven't even chatted about what we're talking.
Yeah, I think electronic shifting,
for sure. Yeah.
Obviously Mavic invented it back in the day, but I guess as made famous by Shimano and Di2. But now, the likes of your Magine group set, L2 group set, your wheel top group set. Everyone's making group sets now. But I also think that it's good to put more pressure on the big boys, because I feel like group sets have stagnated a bit in recent years. The electronics in a group set are still...
So what did SRAM do? They brought out a mechanical group set.
There we go.
I love it. I love it.
We go full circle.
Mechanical Eagle 90, Mechanical Eagle 70 was released 2 days ago. So a lot cheaper price point. I guess that's one way to compete in that lower price point. What we see with those other alternative group sets, I've got the Wheeltop GEX on my gravel bike. It's very, very close. Like close enough that it stays on the bike. Anything that doesn't work for me, frustrates me, comes straight off, gets packed up, done. That's staying on the bike. Again, it's not perfect, but it's only one app update away, or it's only one refinement away, or it's only one carbon lever paddle change away, and that's what we're seeing. So L2 have their new mountain bike, and apparently, did we hear right that there was a UDH full mount possibly floating around from those guys? Yep. That's what I want to get a hold of on a gravel bike.
Yeah, because the nice thing about the L2 stuff is kind of like SRAM stuff from 10 years ago. Everything works together. So I used to like SRAM because you could put a mountain bike rear derailleur on a road bike group set. The mechanical pull ratio was the same and stuff. And now L2, their electronic stuff is the same. You can pair the mountain bike rear derailleur, you can pair to the TT shifters. So if you want to do that.
So L2 have blips, wireless blips, something Wheeltopper still get to release. I love climbing blips or extra buttons always.
Yeah, me too. I love the little ones on here. But so I want the mountain bike L2, I think it's called ETX, I can't remember, but has a 10 to 52 tooth cassette on a gravel bike.
10.
Yeah, they support 10.
10 with micro spline, or
they let you choose whoever you want, because in the app you can change how many gears you've got and stuff. So they don't even have to make a cassette. Like, go buy whoever's cassette you like. I know SRAM are pretty protective about the XDR format, so finding cassettes may not be easy.
I've seen no 13-speed alternate cassettes here for SRAM Explore. The SRAM Explore cassette is $1,000 in Australia. It's quite expensive just for the cassette. I mean, the SRAM Explore 30, I absolutely love it on the gravel bike. But I'm like, well, what are the alternatives? There are alternative flat top chains out now. Chain rings you can find because they're 12/13 compatible, but can't get that cassette. I haven't seen them yet. I'm still looking. Day 4, deep into day 4, haven't seen a 13-speed cassette.
I know you went to the KMC booth. Are they licensed in the flat top chain from
I
SRAM?
haven't actually spoken to any of them. They've been deep in meetings because it's the B2B show, and I'm not. Well, I'm business, but I'm not selling anything. I'm not here to make them any money. I'm just here to look at what's cool, what's new, bit of product awareness. So no, I haven't actually spoken to any of them. I'm keen to know if their quick link is reusable. Because SRAM say don't reuse a quick link. We all do. But if officially the KMC is reusable for flat top chains, I think that'll be a big win for people who wax their chains and taking it on and off quite often.
I remember at the Shanghai bike show last year, there was a brand that said world's first 14-speed chain. Like, there's nothing 14-speed, but they made the chain for it. And it was a really small brand. Like,
why not? Make the claim. Technically, that's correct.
I'm the world's first 14-speed.
See, that is correct. That should get an award. Unlike 50% more power with these cranks that don't give you 50% more.
Well, there we go.
We should run an award show for sure.
Yeah, let's do it. Well, we can do that actually. Let's think of some categories right now.
I've got one straight away. Let's start with this one. Best promotion of product at a booth.
I know who you're going to choose, but let me think. Well, you say yours while I think of mine.
And the reason I thought of that is because there's a company called Sumart. It's smart, but S-U-Mart. They do the little piston spreaders. If you've seen my YouTubes and seen my Instas, I put up a few little shots of this. But the dude behind that, he's in a suit, he's in your face, he knows his gear so well. He's very, Tony from LC Signs, I think you referred to. Very, but not as crude or rude. He gets a bit off the hook. But the guy in the booth knew the product, knew it well, happy to show. As soon as I pulled the camera out, he's like, right, goes into camera mode and like shows it for me, shows it how it works. He's putting up on Instagram. He's got a YouTube channel. I know everything about every product on that booth.
Yeah.
Like probably within a minute of standing there and him talking about it all, I got the brief on everything. And I'm seeing how it's used on his socials. So he gets my vote for, hands down, the best way to promote a product and represent a brand here.
Okay. So, not what I'm going to say is the best, but an observation. The booth babes are getting fewer and fewer.
They are.
So in the past, my thumbnails, I used to use the booth babes, but it was like kind of tongue-in-cheek because
Clickety.
you don't see them anywhere else in the world for a part of it. So it's just to show you the difference of this show.
Yeah.
And of course, yeah, it did get the clicks. But I got some flack in the comments, rightfully so. So yeah, there are still booth babes around on some booths, but less than before.
They're more dressed than in the past.
Yeah, we can say that. There is less skin showing. But
That's a better way of saying
but the AC is cranked very low in the hall.
Yes.
But I've replaced the booth babes with, yesterday's thumbnail was Shoddy Dave. Today's thumbnail is probably going to be you. So
okay.
you are the new booth babe. So hopefully you'll get me as many.
Am I well dressed?
Well, the shorts could be shorter and the t-shirt could be lower, but we'll see.
Lines will be showing.
So yeah, I'll say that's how not to promote a brand, a booth. But I always think I'm a simple guy. Free beer and coffee on your booth, it always gets me in. Trigon, they gave me a couple of beers. So
there we go. I had coffee at Sturker, the UK nutrition brand. Nice long. But the trick there is if they give you a coffee, you will talk to them as you drink the coffee because you're not going to get a coffee and then say, oh, thanks, hi, and then walk off. That's a bit rude. So it's a bit of a tactic as well. So, yep, everyone's got a coffee machine. Okay. Another category, best booth.
Best booth.
It's a hard one because it's a B2B show. It's not really glamorous like Eurobike. Eurobike has the mega booths.
The Giant and Merida booths are big and flashy. Oh, the best booth was the one that you had with the disco infinite
speaking of Tony from LC Signs, I think he was part of that.
Yeah. That was I reckon that was a cool looking
Disco
booth.
Zwift. Okay.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Yeah, I think you're right. Giant has probably the best presence here. The SRAM booth was pretty good. Shimano was very light on, I've got to say. They had, what I liked about the Shimano is we're all waiting for the Shimano Di2 GRX 12-speed. It's mechanical 12-speed GRX, one by, but it's not anyhow. So we're all waiting, and then the mountain bike, the XTR Di2. So we're all waiting for that. And one of their big promos on the Shimano booth was how to use front shift necks for the front chainring on GRX. I'm like, we're all waiting for you to rip off that chainring. Come on, what are you doing? So they're trying. That's a way of, and that's one thing that I tackle with is something too complex. Yeah, make something easy because pedaling a bike is the most simple thing ever. Pedal comes up, push it down. Pedal comes up, push that one down too. You're done. That's how you ride a bike. That's all this is all about.
Yep.
How do you not make everything else too complex? And their little thing of how to set up front shift necks with Di2 and the head, this and this. Even for me, too hard. Walking past, I'm like, I know exactly what that's all about. That's a 10-minute video for me to explain. But if you're just walking past in a booth, too hard.
Yeah.
So you've got to simplify these things. So small, actionable pieces of information. I think I've said that 1,000,000 times to you this week.
I won't say best booth, but we can agree to disagree or disagree to agree. Next category, and I finally thought of something. My best thing I've seen at the show, and I don't think people are going to say what I'm going to say. Bird have an automatic truing machine called the Trudy.
Trudy.
Yeah. So what it does
is it AI?
No, it's not. They don't claim it's AI.
Come on.
So you put your wheel on it.
Yeah.
It rotates around and scans it, like has the run out and the bounce.
Okay. Yeah.
So it scans it, and then because you've already told it how many spokes it has and what hub it is and what the spoke material is, there's a drill attached to it.
Have you got some B-roll to show people here in this video?
Yeah.
If he hasn't, he's got to go find it now.
It was in yesterday's video as well, so don't worry. So it scans the wheel, and then let's say the wheel I had yesterday was like 3 mil out. Then there's a choice of a quick true or a full true.
Wow.
The quick true, it will just try do it in just which 4 spokes are the most out. So you press quick true and it'll say spoke number 3. You go to spoke 3, you put the drill on it, you just press the button, the drill knows how much to turn to tighten the spoke by the right amount. So you don't even have to turn it yourself. You just press a button and it goes zzz, and it goes, okay, now spoke number 12. You find spoke 12, zzz, does it again. You finish, it scans it again. The one that he did, just by touching 4 spokes, the wheel went from like 2.9 mil out of true to just like 0.9 mil out of true. And if you do the full true, it will do the whole wheel perfect.
I love the concept, but that'd be an absolute nightmare for the different types of wheels and spokes that are out there.
Yeah,
I mean, the concept is fantastic, though.
It is a subscription service when you buy it, so because they're maintaining their list of all the spoke materials and this, that, and the
Coming
other.
soon to Wheel Balance Plus.
But I thought it was a pretty cool thing for, like, if you're a bike shop that doesn't have a wheel builder on staff, but you still want to be able to true people's wheels. It's a pretty cool.
As long as it's
option.
generically compatible with a lot of wheels. It won't do all, obviously, hidden nipples and things like that, and hidden. You've got to prepare the wheel to do it all. But that's wow. Okay.
They said they're actually working on a new version of the drill that goes in from the other side, so you don't have to take the tire off.
Mind blown. I'll go check it out. What was the brand?
Bird. You know the guys who make the polymer spokes.
Okay. Yes.
So the first floor here, we can go there and have a look later. So that blew my mind. I was going so these days I'm testing polymer spokes from a Chinese brand, which is a loop back to what we said earlier about someone brings out a product and 5-10 years later other brands bring out better versions.
Yes.
I think that's happening with polymer spokes these days. But yeah, I went there just to see the original. And I saw this true machine. I was like, oh wow, did not expect that, and very cool. So, and I know you're a tech guy, so you'll like it. It's pretty nifty.
Robots.
What were you choosing for the best product you've seen?
Best product.
Or most surprising product, whatever category you want to give it.
I'm surprised with the amount of looping back to radars and power meter pedals. There's a lot of brands I haven't heard of before. Wasn't sure they were in this category, and everyone's just trying to get in on the action. That's what I'm surprised at. So probably, again, best performing is really hard to tell because this is the opposite of riding bikes, being here at a trade show, walking.
Yep.
So the real test is out in the middle of nowhere. When you're riding, you have 30-degree day, something breaks on your bike, then you're in the shit. Like that's when things work or don't. So for example, these group sets, I always said, group sets are one thing I wasn't going to beta test for companies because I ride 30, 40, 50 Ks in the middle of nowhere. If something breaks there, I'm walking home or I'm getting on the phone and it's a long way back. But they're reliable enough to be able to do that now. So yeah, I'm trying to think of other products. We should have prepared a lot better for this. I think, no, I'm more just scanning across the top of what's around. I'm surprised that a few of the bigger brands aren't here. Giant's booth, I expected a little more from Giant. But they do have some interesting recycled carbon stuff.
Okay.
So going with the green message, but I think we had a discussion the other day. Is it time for companies to be focusing on going green? I mean, there's always definitely a requirement to go green and be eco-friendly, but as the industry might be doing a bit of this at the moment, maybe work on building the industry as a whole rather than spending a ton of money on being green. Do that, but the promotion side of things, we've got to get more people into the sport. More people buying bikes. So need to see the balance there.
Okay. And I think we can just summarize with trends in general. So my 2 cents on this is that this year I think there's been quite a lot of new stuff. I think last year there was less of it. My theory behind that is obviously the past few years the Western market's dipped down. Everyone's got warehouses full of stuff. And so no one wanted to bring out anything new because if you bring out something new, what are you going to do with all the old stuff in your warehouse? So I think for the past few years there's been a lot less innovation. But now that the warehouses are starting to get more empty because everyone was just having fire sales the past few years, now that the warehouses are empty, people dare to bring out new stuff. So that's been my take on it. And the second take I'd say is just the mainstreaming of Asian brands is happening. So obviously you've been doing Asian stuff with Majin or whatever for absolutely years. I've been banging the drum about the Chinese stuff for years. Obviously that's my thing. But now seeing the likes of the mainstream media walking around here and being blown away by it all and it all being taken seriously, I think is a good thing, right? I know we're not getting into politics of the East is going to take over the world or this, that or the other, but just in terms of more products is always going to be better for consumers.
Somebody commented yesterday on one of my videos with, can I please not cover any more American brands, et cetera, et cetera. I'm an Australian in Taiwan covering a lot of Asian brands, and in my video that the comment was made on had 10 or so other brands from around the world. Again, I had a comment, but I thought, no, I'll just let that one sit. Someone else commented for me with, pretty much what I've just said. There's a fair balance, and it's about the product, not about where it comes from. It's about, anybody can come from anywhere and make an excellent product, as long as that product is backed up by good service, good user experience, that's all that matters. And if it comes now with a better price than before, even better again. And a good warranty. That's what we're after. So I think that's what we're both in the same wavelength with, is looking for that diamond in the rough. And I've said that a few times this week, and you've been saying that as well. So I think it's been a good week. It's definitely been worth coming over. We have Shanghai coming up next.
Oh, yes.
And then Eurobike, but Sea Otter, everyone's talking about Sea Otter. And that's an opposite bike show to this. This is B2B walking around, talking about bikes and building bikes and assembling bikes. There's parts for everything here. Sea Otter is more about, hey, cool, we've got this, or whatever, let's go ride.
Yeah.
That's what Sea Otter is about. It is phenomenal. You were at Sea Otter last year?
Yeah, I'm not going to go this year because I've got too much stuff to do to get ready for Shanghai. Right. But yeah, a vibe at Sea Otter, like lots of bros.
Oh yeah, it's very broy.
Yeah, very broy. Some interesting smells in the air as you walk around. But yeah, totally different to this. But any trend that you see this year? What was your trend that you saw of the show?
Just the rise of the Asian brands coming up to direct to consumer, doing a lot better, and just how fast they reiterate as well. Yep. L2 being one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times do we see a Shimano group set change? And they've done cues, they make a few changes here and there. SRAM, every year, they have a few things, but these other brands, they're reiterating a lot faster.
So yeah, 2 years ago when the L2 stuff first came out and mine had waterproofing issues and trace fillers and stuff, I made some videos back then just slating L2. And at the time I remember saying, it's either the biggest brain move ever or the stupidest move ever. Like a brand like Shimano, they all test things behind closed doors for years and years and years and make sure it's perfect for the release. In theory, I mean, the cranks fall apart and the pound meter doesn't work, but overall, yeah. Whereas L2, they just put it out there and paying users were basically beta testers. But the speed that has let them catch up at, because they now have so much data, they can just iterate super, super fast. So it was a rough trial by fire or baptism of fire, whatever they call it in the beginning. But the end result is they've now caught up to bigger brands in a super short amount of time.
Yeah, so that's what I like seeing. And at the end of the day, if the prices can come down or be more cost effective, I mean, a semi-group set or a sub-group set from L2 or Wheeltop is the price of a cassette from the other brands. So I still think they're more for project bikes. I haven't seen any bikes on the shop floor with those brands, but over here I did last time, Qingdao, I saw what's the big brand, Decathlon? Okay. I saw a bike with, I think it was L2 on it. We've seen Microshift before, but they're now selling them OEM. So yeah, I'm just going to keep keeping a close eye on those brands. For me, still sticking to one by. Yeah. I don't want to deal with front derailleurs. I'm all about gravel bikes now as well. That's just the easiest riding for me to do.
I think my next bike I build up will be one by as well. I'll use that new L2 mountain bike rear derailleur or something.
That's the UDH version of that is what I want to grab a hold of. I'm fascinated by that. Whether there's a patent issue or not my problem. If I can get the equipment to use and test and ride myself, it's a lot of what I do is a selfish pursuit. I keep telling people I want the bike to ride myself. People saying, can you test this or test this or test this? I'm like, I don't want to test it. I want to ride it. And at the end of the day, if I ride it and it works, fantastic. And I see you do the same as well with whatever you got in the store. Yeah.
Obviously for me, I've got a bit more skin in the game, because I'm selling the stuff. But I know
you're a cyclist. You ride this stuff.
One of the comments I get a lot in my videos. So I'll feature something in the video, and it's from a brand that we work with or have a relationship with, and I'm like, oh, it's coming to the website soon. And then for the next few weeks, my team back at home, they're answering emails of when's it coming? When's it coming? It's because we're doing our due diligence and actually testing it. It's so easy for me to just put it on the website and, you guys buy it, but we actually want to test it before we sell it. Shock horror. Right. So it does take us a while to put stuff up, but rest assured, anything you saw in the videos in the past few days will eventually be on the website.
Do you have reflective bar tape? That really cool bar tape that I saw. People keep asking about that on mine.
Oh, no.
You don't? All right, I'll send you a link.
Okay, sounds cool. I'll check it out. But no, thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you at the next trade show, maybe.
I'll be around, most definitely. There
we go. Obviously, Shane Staff, you all know this guy, I don't need to introduce him, but I'll put links to his channel and his Instagram below. His stories throughout the show were pretty good, so make sure you check him out on Instagram too.
You've got to have a bit of a laugh at these shows because they can be a little boring, especially about 4 in the afternoon when you've done about 17,000 steps and you're missing a coffee or whatever. You see something that looks a little weirdly shaped, you post it up on Insta stories.
Very cool. And on that bombshell, China Cycling and GP Llama out. Okay, and that is about a wrap for today's video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that juicy stuff. If you've not been to pennypodium.cc yet, go check it out after this video. And I'll see you in about 5 weeks' time for the Shanghai Bike Show. China Cycling out.